I never expect this video to actually become this long, involving the amounts of efforts I have added into. To those that actually came to watch this video, welcome. I have decided to make a video about an SSB2 YouTuber that I last explained about during my last exposed video against Apex a few weeks ago. And I would like to try and discuss everything with what I have against Your Gaming. For context, Your Gaming was a famous SSB2 YouTuber and a role player amongst the other YouTubers like Sabola, Figure, and a more popular SSB2 YouTuber called Skullhead Gaming. Your Gaming was known around the SSB2 community for a few years by now, or probably more, where he even first created his own YouTube channel back in 2018. He first created his first video about hackers 4 years ago, which is kind of bizarre, which is when the whole hacker era was around. Besides that, he's known for hosting his own roleplay server or his map called Medium City. As he continues to tag some players in YouTube or Discord to join, it's making it as an optional opportunity to join and have some fun around. But however, there has been controversial topics that involves Yer causing a hefty amount of drama, which involves manipulating his fans, creating racial remarks, and worstly doxing a kid, and such more. But in order for me to actually back up my own claims, I have screenshots of proof, even Yer's doing so while the whole situation continues on. In the meantime, let's continue explaining the screenshots with each context. There has been screenshots, less to more questionable about Yer's behavior and activity, in which he's seen doing random shit, including his immaturity of how he acts. Some may sound off topic when it's not related to the situation, but nothing is doubted when its story is mentioned. Then there's the screenshots of Yer doing the questionable point of where he implied racial remarks that includes the N-word by his skin color, possibly meaning he's white, and saying Kurdish people should kill themselves, and more. There's even pedophilia accusations and doxing of a minor, including a picture that is shown named by Hezlo. I always expect the usual from anyone, which is denying the accusations that was made despite there is picture proof of all that. Some may be invalid, which is a possibility, but viewers will see it for themselves, so they can have the chance to express on how they feel. Meanwhile, I continue to gather the info I need against Yer, until I did encounter two former friends of Yer named Kodbin and Bonnie. Just to let you know, these are the people that gave me the effective screenshots of Yer and his questionable actions, and it became so much easier for me. How I met Kodbin and Bonnie can sound simple. A few weeks ago where I met them in the Simple Sandbox Discord server, and it caught my attention that they knew Yer, so I was invited in the group chat by one of them, and it gave me the best jackpot of proof that I never expected to have before. But besides that, Yer would lie about his own age. People did assume that he was 15, 12 years old, or even 13, but it's easy to say that he's 14 in my own thoughts. Yer does have some followers, but they don't seem to act nicely. For example, Avgeek and Derek, as they seem to share that similar DNA. In the meantime, I decided to ask Kabani and Kodbin if they want an interview, and they accepted my request. That's when the cause of the whole video to be longer. And the more you watch this video, you'll soon realize who Yer was when two people explain the true mask of their former friend that changed. Okay, so like Bonnie and Codbin. So how did you meet your?
I'll go first. So it was like really random. In the comment sections of one of his old videos, I think it was about like a time lapse of an SSB2 server before the update. I left like a little comment. Well, before this, I was leaving a ton of comments. I think I was trying to grab his attention. And I guess he just like, decided to friend me. And ever since, well, that, we basically started to become closer. We hung out around SSB2, Roblox, basically any other game. We were sometimes we just hang out by ourselves, like with none of the other friends Er had, and it was really going well. I mean, I can't lie, I did have fun. I'll admit I did have fun back then,
So like it
and
means
that's
that
when
yeah, I'm sorry. So the mean is it means like the two of you were friends, right? We were friends.
I'd say best friends. Yeah,
Oh, okay, best friends. Y'all became best friends.
and around this time, this is when we made Medium City. Uh, Originally, it was basically a co-ownership where me and owned the city, and we could like update it, build whatever. It was like, I guess you could say, a partnership. And apart from that, I don't really remember anything significant that happened during that time. Just, us hanging out, having fun. Really, that's it. Sure, there was like some minor inconveniences, you could say. But apart from
Yeah.
that, it was all going well.
And so is there like any conflicts or any issues that involved Medium City while during your time with like the best friend arc with you and me you're and you.
Not really. I can't really remember, so I'd say no.
Okay. Do you have anything else you guys say, or is that it?
If you're interested in the minor conveniences I mentioned, it was really just like it's like kind of ridiculous now, ridiculous. But it was basically me, and the other friends, 90, Ghost, other people. I mean, no one's gonna remember them obviously now, but oh well. So we're just chatting in this Roblox chat. Like it happened 2 times, by the way. And then some dude, I don't know who it was. It was like basically all of us, but we blamed it on other people. We changed like the Roblox group chat names to like I wouldn't say horror things compared to like it says now, but
Mm-hmm.
it was, I guess you could say, words that seemed like very putrid to us, and we like started blaming each other. And eventually, I say all the fault went to me for some reason, and I was like, "Oh yeah, do it, do it, kick me out the group chat," like all that corny, stuff.
Yeah.
And nothing apart from that, nothing really happened. I mean, I still stayed in a group chat. I mean, everything, went all back to sunshine and rainbows. That was really it. It's like kind of ridiculous, obviously.
So I guess so. I just it just means there was a mini argument, all that, right?
Yeah,
Okay, okay. So I think I'm pretty sure you're done with it, right? Like, with everything you want to say.
pretty much from what I can gather significantly. I bet you better go up there,
Okay.
boy.
Okay, buddy.
Fine.
Okay, so like, now I'm gonna move to you, Compton. So you can go ahead. What you gonna say?
All right, so I met your through a friend who was a moderator in his Discord server. All right, so you're at that time was looking for moderators in his Discord server. So my friend, who was pretty close to him at the time, told me about the server, and I was interested. So yeah, that's how.
Mm-hmm. So like, is there any of those details about when it comes to like becoming a moderator? Like, does your tell you to like do this and do that?
Not really. He just told me to moderate, and that's it. But yes, after a while, we did again. We grew closer and closer until we became friends.
Okay, so then like Now, I want to involve any sort of beef. Like, is there any like sort of like a beef or conflict that you have with you and your, or was there someone that has a third party that was like that was starting conflict with everything?
I mean, it was a third party, like you said, that started everything.
Yeah. Can you
But
explain that to me? Or I don't mind if you have a bit of information you have. I don't really mind.
I mean, I don't really remember a lot of details, but it was one guy that started an argument between me and him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Okay. So like the other one the next question is like that Bonnie and Cobbin. How did your treat you? Like, did they treat you bad? Like, did he treat you bad, or is it good, or is it something else, or something, or treat you
Hey, I'll
something
go. I'll
weird?
go.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll go. I'll go first. When me and him met, it was like bonding. It was a bonding experience. We were basically having a good time. Nothing else happening apart from the group chat inconvenience. But I would say everything changed. I'd say I think it was late 2022. I can't, no, 23. Yeah, 2023. Late 2023
Mm-hmm.
when, uh, no, I don't know like the entire details about it, and I probably never will because it's like old now. But Lee Cow, who was one of Earth's friends, I'd say close friends too, basically told her that I was apparently a bad influence to him, that I was affecting,
Mm-hmm.
you can say, negatively, and that he urged him to, unfriend me before, I guess I corrupted him or something. And so it was in a Nightopia server. Nobody's gonna remember what Nightopia was, obviously, but that's where he told me that, hey, I don't want to be friends with you no more. And from that point on, everything spiraled. Now, after that, like in the early parts, I guess I kind of accepted it, but not really because I still had like an urge to like come back with him. At this time, I still had, some, I guess, liking to I still wanted to, hang out with him. I had no such hatred yet. But the conflict, well, the hidden conflict eventually became visible, I would say, in an old comment thread. It's obviously gone now, but I just said one insult when in like one video where he commented, and that was, and I quote, "Plan boy." Now, I guess I would say this entire conflict would start because, well, for one, he unfriended me, of course, and two, he was joining a clan, I would say. Well, joining multiple clans. SPRS, which is now IFRS by Shanador, and GLA, which was owned by Leak at the time, and SRS, which was owned by, I think it was Unseasoned. So yeah, he was joining like multiple clans, and he was basically like leaving me alone, which I guess that made me feel like an outcast, like basically being left alone, hurt me a little bit. And the other reason was because he was getting Discord at the time. And back then, I was so hesitant to come back to Discord due to circumstances that I would not get into, past circumstances. And overall, those made me feel like shit. I guess I would say so, like shit. I don't mean to say that, but basically. And so
So,
eventually, that's what led to the insult, I would say. And because of
uh-huh.
that insult, it led to basically the entire conflict, which is still going on right now. I won't get into details about it yet, unless I get asked about it right now. But
Okay. So go ahead. Go
but
ahead.
throughout
You
the
go
conflicts,
continue.
in summary, basically insulted my ethnicity or nationality, however you put it. I wouldn't classify those two as the same, but you could count
Mm-hmm.
both if you want. And what else? I guess I could say he insulted my name. He insulted my city. He insulted my friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it, like on a personal level. But he also like he on August 3rd, I will get into details later. I'm sorry for like being it so sudden. On August 3rd, him, him and like SPRS and other clans like invading my city. So you could say he caused vandalism and destruction to my city and its community. You could also say the same
Mhm.
for the Discord server, the Simple City Discord server. He destroyed
Yeah.
the old one. That was kind of devastating to me and my community. And he also insulted. Well, there's gonna be screenshots, obviously. He insulted my friends with slurs, threats, tragedies, all of that. And I just say overall, in the beginning, he treated me nice because, obviously I was his best friend. But in the later periods of, our relationship, I guess I would say, during the conflicts, he just began to treat me like nobody, under the rug. And back then I felt like, hurt, but now I don't really feel nothing anymore. I feel the same hatred for him, and I guess that's really it. He's like not a good person overall, I would say.
So like about the first one where his friend told you that you were a bad influence, like does it does like when it comes to your believing it, does his friend actually even have any proof of you being a bad influence? Because like, it kind of makes no sense that they're just explaining that he's telling you that you're a bad influence, but there's no any sort of screenshots or any like sort of like video call that you were actually being a bad influence to your like why is that any have to do with it?
Um, I can't really think of a reason why he told her to unfriend me. I just want to say a real quick note. Me and Lee Cal are on good terms right now, so don't send harassment. But anyway, back to the story. I can't really think of anything on why he told her to do what he did. I guess like the closest thing I could possibly imagine was because me and him, during our I'd say honeymoon phase, no gay stuff, but
Yeah,
I
that's fine.
said, yeah, we kind of said some out of pocket things, not like like tragedy levels that he would go later on,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like typical weird stuff. I'd say like homosexual stuff,
Yeah,
like
gay stuff.
yeah, typical stuff you'd see, like, yeah. I think that's like the best reason I could think of, really. Other than that, I really do not know.
So about you're joining multiple clans, like does he have an actual purpose of like joining these clans? Like you think it's for like trying you're trying to convince other clans to either target you or some other stuff?
I would say the beginning it wasn't like that. He wasn't like trying to target me. I believe. Okay, let me just tell you this right now. He had like connections to all these clan leaders, Senator, Lee Cal at the time, Unseasoned at the time, I think. Basically, like I say, those three were like the most powerful in SSB2 at the time. SRS wasn't like really active in SSB2, but they were still powerful in other games, regardless. So I'd say in the beginning, he only joined these clans to get close to them. I don't know if they manipulated him, but who can say, really? It's old now. So yeah, I would say it was more of like a closeness thing. No targeting towards me. But I'd say later on, during the entire conflict, it was like that. He probably, all these clans to target me, as seen in August 3rd. And yeah, that's all I could say, really.
So there was like no intention of your actually trying to manipulate all those three clans to target you.
In the beginning, no.
Okay, solid. And you said about this one last thing that you want to said about, but it's optional for me if I want to ask. Like, is it already explained it's still available to ask?
Uh, uh, to be honest, I kind of forgot. Could you repeat the context when I said it?
I can try to remember as I can, but I think you explained that it was like something related, um, like related to like it's related to like year into something else. I don't remember. Like, can you like, is it possible to actually remember? Like, you can take your time if you want.
Um, man, unfortunately,
I mean,
no.
okay, that's okay, and we can just like skip that. Like, we can skip that then because like we don't. There's like
If
multiple
it's
things going on.
if it's
Huh?
if it's something it's probably related to like the conflict, which if you want, I can dive deep into. But right now, I can't really remember. So yeah, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. So, Cobbin, it's your turn.
All right. So back then, he did treat me kind of well, actually. Like he did treat me like a friend, but everything downhill after he decided to abandon his Discord server, and he, yeah.
Mm.
So, all right.
So
So
like,
after he had,
so
all right.
go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
sorry. After the server, he tried to put the blame on his government blocking the Discord servers, but yeah.
Hmm. So it's then like that Yer has abandoned his own like a Discord server, right?
Yeah, and he decided to put me in charge on the server, but
But did he give you a reason of why he wants to put you in charge?
no.
So he didn't say anything about why you need to take charge of his own server, and he just like just abandoned it and that's it, just leaving you with his community.
Yeah, just that.
Was there like any intentions of doing that, or there was not an acknowledged intention about why he left you with that?
I mean, if you all right, sorry. You could say
Right.
he wanted to the server, but because he was apparently uncomfortable with Discord. That's his words, not mine.
Okay, so that means he's just uncomfortable with Discord. That's all he just said.
Yeah, that's it. He didn't want to clarify anything further, but yeah. Even though he made the Discord server willingly and decided to hire moderators in there.
Yeah, that's true. Then that's true.
But
Is there anything else?
I mean, if you want, I could include me joining the Simple City server, but that would take a lot of time.
It's okay. We can skip that since like we're just talking about your.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So my next question is like that when did your begin to show signs of his own true colors? Bonnie, can you explain that?
Um, during the conflict and during the honeymoon phase, he didn't really show signs. Really, I mean, to me back then, it was signs. I believed he was manipulating all these people, all these clan leaders, all the friends. And on a side note, yes, Earth's friends did kind of betray me to an extent during the conflict. But anyways, so yeah, I felt like he was manipulating these people into fighting for him. Now later on, I would be proven right, of course. So I guess you could say that's the first sign, even though I didn't really interpret it as such, or like just a temporary, I guess, conflict idea, you could say. What else? It was really during the 2025 BMC World Cup where all his true colors basically were shown to light. Unfortunately, outside of Simple City and other groups that were interested in nobody in Simple Sandbox 2 really knew about this situation, and so he was able to rebrand himself as Traffic Cone, as we see now, and basically gain back all the power and reputation he lost during that. But during this, controversy of the World Cup, he said some pretty out-of-pocket things. At this point, not even out-of-pocket, like controversial things. He said the hard R, he said a soft A, he basically said two variations of the N-word. He, once again, as I already mentioned, sending threats to people. he referenced tragedies and like for example, like one thread I remember is that he told 90 that, oh 90, you better come out to the field or I swear I'm going to come in England and skin you alive. Like that type of stuff, really. And also in tragedies, he told Okla once, not really, it wasn't a World Cup, I think. It's like another football related event, but he said, oh Okla, something, and then the 2010 Bratislava shootings, which, you know, is not a good thing to do if, you know, you're a popular Simple Sandbox 2 YouTuber with a reputation to uphold. But yeah, I would say he's just stupid. Like, he doesn't really think straight. He just says whatever to, I guess, perceive himself as a stronger man or something. Yeah. But I'd say that event was when his true colors started to show, really.
So he just images himself as the one that he can just say whatever he wants, including the racial remarks that he just implied.
Yeah. There were times though where we managed to hold him accountable. But really, it was just banning him from the football events. So it wasn't really like rear ending. It was more like, I'd say, a decline in his reputation. So yeah, he eventually did regain, of course. So yeah.
So when it comes to his racial remarks and some other things that involve some tragedies, like does his fans like attempt to to support him by just like telling everyone that that's not true and like, or denying that Euro doesn't do this or doesn't say that?
Well, I wouldn't say it was really his fans. I'm not saying there weren't fans who, you know, backed him up. There were some, but they're really not that important to the storyline. You know, they were just typical, oh my god, I can't believe this person is trying to cancel you, all that type of stuff. But
yeah,
the only there's like really only two notable people I could think of who tried defending her. This one was Jaden. I know, once again, don't worry, he's not with her. He's quit at SSB2, I don't think. Yeah, anyways, Jaden was, you know, defending her. Even besides the which Biden is Barbados, and Barbados is majority.
your mic is cutting off.
I really can't fix that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Even when Ur said that word, he still defended him. He said, "Oh, why are you going after him?" And I would say, the witch hunt was kind of exaggerated, but regardless, he was still defending Ur, even despite his remarks, his controversial remarks. So yeah, eventually he did turn on him, and yeah. And in turn, Ur was basically insulting his football skills in SSB2. Even when, Jaden, Eve topic, Jaden won the World Cup for him, basically, in the SMEM City team. The second person is Humanoid Elf. Now, Humanoid was defending Ur. I'd say, I really can't think of a reason. More like, I guess he just wanted to be close to Ur, I guess, or had some sort of hatred. He was basically doing the same thing, defending his remarks and his person, basically, and yeah. I could go on about Humanoid Elf, but it's really about Ur right now, so... And also, Humanoid Elf is really not that important anymore. He's basically, I guess you could say, semi-retired from SSB2. He's not that important anymore. And I'm not sure if me and him are good terms, so that's all I can conclude.
Okay, so I guess that means, like, that probably just a few people that were, like, just defending Ur, then until temporarily that time was up and they just turned on him. Well, probably, like, most of his fans were against him because of the accusations then, right?
I wouldn't say most of his fans. They probably did it new.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, you go. You go ahead, Cabin.
All right, so back in I think mid 2024, he decided to have an argument with someone named Tesla. So after a while, during that argument, he decided, and obviously after made racist remarks of him and his nationality, he decided it was a good idea to dox the guy. So yeah, I- that's when.
Hmm. Is there anything that you thought about the whole conflict, the signs about your, or is
I
that it?
mean, want I could go into detail about his racist remarks if you
Uh,
want.
you, uh, um, sure. I would like to dig deeper on that. If you have any info about it, I don't really mind if it's a bit of info. I would appreciate it.
Stuff, but I could try. All right,
Okay.
so he did make racist remarks about Heslo's nationality, which he is Kurdish. All right, so he did make a lot of references about massacres and such that happened against the Kurds. But yeah, and also his doxing, which is another topic.
Yeah. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's it. So about next, my other question is that Bonnie, can you explain the whole entire conflict with your back in 2023 to 2026?
Just be right. Just me.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. So back to the early stages, the whole clan boy thing. I think
Yeah.
Senator, one of the guys who was, in his clan, I'm pretty sure he took this as like an insult to his clan. Back then, and yes, Senator has admitted he was kind of hot-headed back then, so you can't really blame him
Yeah.
now. But back then, he took it as an insult. And in turn, that meant that the other guys, Lee Hao and Season, decided to, I guess teach me a lesson, something, I don't know. So they threatened me with a conflict or an invasion towards my city. And of course, back then I was kind of terrified of, the extent of Earth's allies. So I was paranoid about the invasion. I was like tracking for any spies inside my server. And yeah. And since I didn't really have like a broad connection to other people who could have helped me, I was basically alone to defend against myself. And eventually when the invasion did came, it was, I would say, a national tragedy for my city. I would say, changed my city forever. Now, I won't get into details about, the entire conflict, I mean, the entire invasion or the peace treaty that came after it. But it was a devastating blow towards my city. It deeply affected my community. And I would say would only deepen the hatred between me and her. And this is the moment where I felt isolated. Like me and my community stood alone, I would say. Eventually, though, that peace treaty would, happen, and the conflict between me and her basically ceased to exist for now. And during the peacetime, I'd say me and her once again got along, but it was never the same, as back then ever again. So while
So
we
it's just
were at peace,
and,
like what?
so it was like when you and your got back together, it was half friendly but half hostile, right?
Not really, no. Like half friendly, half like, oh, yeah, that happened. Reference to, August 3rd. So I would say it was
Yeah.
kind of half-assed, really. Like we were still friends, but we kind of felt a little disconnected because he mainly hung out with the clan leaders, the clan members. He was in the Simple Say Discord at the time, the old one. So yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess we were having a good time, I guess, in the server, hanging out in SB2, talking to each other, all of that, until I would say during April 2024. Yeah. Now, this is more like a domestic thing in my city, so I won't dive deep into it, but there was an election going on in one of my cities, I would say, and yes, I called them this Autonomous Republic Province, which is basically an autonomous area within my city. It was
Yeah.
in Oitar. So yeah, this election was kind of heated. Oh wait, no. Okay, okay, I'm gonna just go with it. I did this wasn't like the turning point, but I'm gonna just go with it. But it kind of
Hmm.
demonstrates how like my city felt about and the clans, I would say. You can include this. During this election, yes, I did play a part, unfortunately. I really did not want nuclear, like the communist candidate, to win, despite him being like one of my close friends. Mainly because we all saw him as an incompetent leader for Simple City. And yes, at the time, he was one of the consuls or leaders of Simple City. And he wasn't doing a good job. I still think that. But back then, I just really wanted power. I want him out of there.
Hmm.
So I convinced, well, not really convinced, but like these clan guys went up to me and said, "Oh, we don't want nuclear to win. Can you please, invite us or something like that?" I think it was along the lines of that. I don't know. And guess what? Was the opposing candidate, and since I wanted to be close with again, of course I decided to, betray my friend Nuclear and go with Because yeah, it's not like this entire situation is gonna change in like, less than a few weeks. And so I did invite the clan members in. And guess what? Hold on, give me a second.
Go ahead, go ahead. It's fine. Take your time.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's
So
okay. That's
yeah,
okay. It didn't take much longer. Go ahead.
did end up winning the election though. And my city did
Hmm.
not react kindly to this. So you could say not everybody forgave after the whole August 3rd thing and the conflict. You could say that. Now the real turning point that I confused it with was Senator basically in the DMs about this whole, Oitar election up to the turning point. He threatened me saying, "You better overthrow nuclear, or else we're gonna have to, invade you again." Since we had to go through a democratic process of impeachment, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with it. We couldn't
Yeah.
necessarily overthrow nuclear like that. But despite this, Jenner, in his still hot-headed face, of course, decided to declare war on Simple City again. And after this, betrayed me once more and sided with Senator. And so the conflict began. We didn't really fight though. There was like two instances, I'd say, where there was some sort of conflict, but it was mainly in Discord. The first time was when Lee Cal basically tricked me into making him my second consul. Yes, at the time I was the first consul, which is one of the leaders again. So when I made him my second leader, you could say, he basically tried to instigate a coup. Now, for some reason, while I was eating my McDonald's, yes, I have to mention that.
That's
I
okay.
decided to, I randomly decided to go to my Discord to see, what my people were up to. And then I saw Lee Cal basically doing a coup, basically banning everyone and, trying to destroy my server. I came in time and, ban him, stopping the coup. And yeah, the other instance was when Not Dumb Dev tried to, he managed to trick me into adding a bot that was actually a nuke bot. And so when I did
Right.
add it, the nuke bot started to, start making all these channels, spam pinging, all of that. Luckily, I banned the bot just in time before it could actually do any destruction and ban AutumnDev. So yeah, that's really the only conflict or fights that happened. Eventually, though, another peace treaty came in and it stopped the conflict. And in that moment, I had to give away Medium City. And yes, at the time, I owned Medium City. And that would basically cause consequences later in the future. That's happening right now. Now, around this period, under peacetime, I wouldn't say me and Uri got along though. It was more, basically, all right, bro, let's just agree it's over. I mean, we're cool, but we're not friends no more. And I guess he'd stay with clans for a while before he eventually quit them. And eventually, Turkey banned, so that only, further distance ourselves. And in the World Cup, I was basically rage baiting him. Me and my members were rage baiting him, which caused him to say all of those, statements. And that only further distanced ourselves. Now, we don't really actually fight, but, we kind of basically and he reacted, but he really couldn't do anything. Now after that it was back and forth, some small infightings, nothing really too serious until basically recently. I think it was around March when I saw a clip of invading Jakeville, like a random Jakeville, like a random SSB2 city. And I saw this as hypocritical because earlier, in a diplomatic talk between me and and another guy named Don, who was currently the first leader of Simple City, by the way, we negotiated basically something, I guess, where Simple City, wouldn't attack any more cities because after the whole Jakeville invasion, which basically I would say was unjustified because it was over a football game. Anyways, it was basically controversial because we basically invaded this innocent city all over football. Eventually, we did reach a settlement, but after that, our army's popularity was like downhill, and we agreed to that we would just stop invading and go back to peace. But guess what? Is of course hypocritical, and he doesn't follow what he demanded us to. So he invaded a random innocent city, and I saw this as hypocritical. Of course, I hate to say that word once again, but anyways, eventually I decided, hey, maybe it's time we show this motherfucker to stop harassing people, I guess you could say, and his tyranny once and for all. And so I decided to, start setting threats, and eventually I did invade. He was making fun of me, saying, "Oh, haha, you haven't invaded yet. You haven't sent a single soldier." And when we did start to invade, he suddenly, shut the fuck up, and he wasn't, saying no insults towards us. He was just saying, "Oh, you're terrorists, you're trolls." Yeah. And
so that's like
we basically showed our strength though, and eventually we did conquer Medium City. We did achieve victory despite Apex IVS joining, and basically I think you all get the story by now because it's recent. So I would say that's the entire conflict. Right now, me and haven't signed a peace treaty yet. I don't think he's willing to. So for now, we're at like an unofficial armistice or ceasefire, but it's really just us fighting still, just not official, I would say. So yeah, that's the entire conflict.
So I'm pretty sure that the election, the clan members, I think probably SPR, right? Am I right?
SPRS at the time, and yeah.
Yeah, so like, and that treaty, like, do you actually suggest that it's all gonna like you want to like sign the treaty so it can all go back again, or do you think about you don't trust it anymore because like you have a feeling that you might do the same shit again, attack another normal city that's like literally innocent and some other stuff, you know?
Like right now, like right now.
Like yeah, probably if you like sign the peace treaty and then something happens again that involves your attacking another city.
Um, I will admit before, the whole Jakeville thing, me and really wasn't talking. We were like at peace, so it was really peaceful until that. But if I do sign a peace treaty with him, I'm gonna want all of Medium City, but I'm definitely gonna return back to the same state it was before. Me and him not talking. I'm like, I don't see a point in fighting him anymore. Like he's just gonna continue being the same idiot he is, and hold that up. He's gonna still manipulate the
Okay.
kids, but really, unless we gather like the most of the community against him, it's not gonna be a profound effect on him. Oh yeah, I would probably want the city, like a city, but that's it really. I'm not gonna being in his situations anymore. Like I really do not trust him anymore.
Okay. So is there any like besides like everything you explained about, is there any smaller details you want to discuss about? Or unless that they may sound irrelevant and it's required to skip. Like is there anything that you have on or they're all irrelevant to the whole story?
I think that this conflict basically showcases how he manipulates people for his own personal gain and, I guess you could say, and that he only basically wants to be perceived as this powerful person, I guess you could say. And yeah, that's really it. He just wants to protect his image.
Okay. So I think that's all everything. So what about you, Cobbin?
Well, I don't really have a lot to say about the conflict, unless if you want to discuss the recent conflict, which happened around March. Excuse me, which happened around
Yeah,
March.
sure.
All right, so
Mhm.
at that
Okay.
time, back in February, I did join Simple City because I really didn't know where to go. And at that time, which Bonnie already explained everything, I became in charge of I think, if you want to say, an aerial division of Simple City.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and as you know, those fightings and all of that, and yeah, I don't really got anything to say, to be honest.
All right. So I guess like you got so you finished everything on what you said, right? You just like what on like what you just remembered, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Okay.
really remember anything, to be honest.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay. So
All right.
some this is one question that involves like if it's like actually true or not. I've seen like multiple instances of that people say about his mental health and things. And even probably like, it's possible that you're kind of said it too, including another content creator which is like Maxwell, the SSB2 YouTuber. So it's just because that I want to ask that is yours mental health an excuse? That's what I want to ask you, Bonnie.
Hello.
Bonnie. Bonnie, are you here?
Yeah, I don't think he's here, to be honest.
I mean, he's here. He's here. I think he's probably okay, but I'll just probably start with you, Ben.
All right. So, to be honest, I think yes, it is an excuse of him using his mental health.
Shoot, he left. We'll probably get
Oh,
to
he
that.
left.
Oh, yeah, he left, but I think he'll come back in a bit. So, like, how do you think that yours mental health is an excuse?
I mean, with the way he acts, he sometimes acts like normal, and sometimes acts like a hypocrite, to be honest.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he sometimes wait. How can I explain it? He he sometimes he thinks he runs everything, like he's the boss. He's more important than anyone.
Okay. Is there anything else that may consider yours mental health as an excuse?
I mean, his racism. Yeah, that's probably a clear indicator that it's an excuse.
Okay. So right now, since Bonnie has left the call because he has some other things to do, I want to finish the rest of the questions that I might ask you. So um next the other one is about yours doxing against Heslo. Is it justified, or it was actually an action like against Heslo?
Like, can you elaborate about the against this wall part, or
It was implied that your one is doxed against Heslo, and it was unsure that I'm not sure if it was actually justified. I mean, actually, I don't see any reason if it was, but I want to actually see your own view about it.
I mean, no, it's not justified, to be honest. I, all Heslo did is just annoy you, or if you could say that, impersonate him.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I don't think it's a justifiable reason to dox him. Also, another thing which I have a screenshot of. Hold on.
yeah.
I'll send it real quick.
Sure.
All
Take
right,
your
so
time.
this screenshot in here, which he's trying to say that in Heslo sending Gore is a justifiable reason for doxing, for the doxing. Which, to be honest, I think it's very ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think when seeing the screenshots, I think it's kind of a little too far even after doxing. No, actually, I consider it as more. It's too much because doxing Heslo, it can result into a an impact on Heslo's life, and including like the
Not
gore
only
and
an
sending
impact.
gore.
All right, continue. All right, not all right. So not
Sorry,
only
go
an
ahead.
impact on Heslo's life, but also a federal felony against Europe in this instance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what.
Yeah.
All right, continue.
I can say that. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you. I can say that of your doxing Heslo is mostly a bigger impact because of what you said. It could it's a felony, and including like when it comes to sending gore to Heslo, that just adds another impact because sending gore mostly can result into some really bad images that could affect a little kid's mindset. And in the future, it's unsure what's gonna happen if Heslo is gonna have those memories of gore from a few years ago.
Yeah, that's kind of fair, but at the same time, Heslo also sent Gore, as you can see from the
Yeah,
screenshot. But yeah, it's not justifiable. Like, not
yeah,
justifiable in any reason.
yeah. I can just consider that. It's just mostly the both of them is just well, it's not both of them just not justifiable. I can just say that it's just mostly a between conflict of sending both gore. It doesn't mean it's not that right to send gore. I'm just saying that. I mean, yeah, Yuri is in the wrong, but Heslo's in the wrong too for sending gore. But I can only mostly go for you're doing doxing, which is more worse than just sending gore.
Yeah, I also agree with that part too.
Okay, so there's the other question. Like, did your force you to do anything, like something bad or something inappropriate or such?
I mean, if you want to include me getting all the info of Office Law, then yeah, probably.
Sure. I'll listen into it. Go ahead.
Alright, so after someone jokingly said that we should dox Law, you decided to take it seriously and tell me and another friend of mine, which I'm not going to mention the name of, to
Mhm.
try to get to at least try to get the information of Law, like force him to leak it.
Mm. Did like your decide to use any sort of research, like a Gratify link or some sort of like a?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He did actually.
Okay. So once after your use link against Heslo, like did it what? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's like I don't want to reveal about it, but was there any like personal information that was revealed by Heslo or while you were like with your?
I mean, yeah, there was a lot of information actually, like his IP address and his location. And also, I think, no, never mind. It's just this IP and its location that was revealed. But the other info, Heslo willingly sent after him put, sorry, after
Yes.
him
Okay.
pressuring Heslo to send it.
And did it work or did it not work?
To be honest, I kind of hate to say it, but yeah, he did leak the information.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
Anything else, or is that it?
No, that's it. For at least from what I can remember.
Okay, so the next one is like it's mostly like I can say it's a half important question to me, but it's that does Muir manipulate his fans into his own fandom?
Yes.
Can you explain that?
All right. So especially in because he's famous and pretty well known in the Symbol Sandbox community, a lot of people, especially kids, want to like befriend him or something, like be friends with him. So
Yeah.
this is purely speculations, but I think he manipulates people in his server sessions, roleplay sessions. That's where.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any sort of like well, I should know any kind of sentences that you're said about like when it comes to manipulating his own fans? Like, is there any topics or sayings about his own doings to his own fans and to bringing them into his own fandom?
Not that I think. Wait. No, I don't think so. To be honest.
Mm. Okay. So I think that's all right. That's all you got to say, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the bigger question. Like, this is the last one, by the way. I want to ask you is that it's mostly again, it's a bigger question, but is you're a good guy
Like before or right now in this current year.
in the present and probably in the past? Actually, no, I could say
All right. So
in the present.
in the present, no, he's not. But in the past, however, he was actually a nice guy. To be honest. Like before his low scandal and him abandoning his Discord server. But yeah, he was
Yeah,
overall a nice guy.
yeah, of course. Like so, in the past, he was a nice guy. He did some good things that for his own fans, including you and probably Bonnie as well. But
Yeah, he did
in
actually.
the present, yeah. In the
In the
present now,
present,
oh, yeah. But
no, he doesn't actually. In the present, he most of the things that you mentioned, he doesn't do right now. Well, unless if you count helping with building, but nah, not a lot of stuff.
yeah,
But
like
if you're
when I was
talking
like
about If
What?
you're talking about personality-wise in this instance, then no. In the present, he's not a nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I just heard that he was not a nice guy because of his own because he doxed a kid. He even like tried like beef like he tends to betray. He beef with other cities. He even tried to blame us on he tried to blame his own behavior as a mental health as to an excuse.
Yeah.
And then from what Bonnie said, the whole election thing, and including let's see, hold on. I'm pretty sure it's about the whole election where that Yer betrays Bonnie and switches to Senator or Shen, say.
Yeah, he did actually do that a lot.
Yeah.
As the
Yeah.
Bonnie said, obviously.
And it's kind of surprising that he decides to leave you with his own community, which is kind of surprising because like why would he actually just leave his own community to you? Like, which is like it sounds kind of a little bad enough because like what is the point of actually just leaving though? Like you don't like did he actually even
Yeah,
provide a
trust me,
reason?
I don't know either. He didn't want to imply why. Like he didn't give me a valid reason. He tried to blame it on him not using a VPN, but yeah, nevertheless, that he didn't give me a reason.
Yeah, and like despite everything in the past, he's like a good person. So he was a good YouTuber, and it's just some other things with his own map. But in right now, he did a lot of things that were like considered to be unforgivable, and it's not that right for him to actually do those kind of like actions. Plus, despite like he was like, well, I could say image as a kid, it's still not that right.
Yeah, that's actually fair.
Let me see. I think that's all the questions I can ask you. However, those questions are mostly not finished with Bonnie, so I'll probably ask him in another time when he's available. All right.
All right.
And thank you for coming to me. All right, Codbin.
No, thank you for having me in today. Actually, I'm
Okay.
very pleased to be in here.
Yeah, because it's actually just kind of it's necessary to tell me everything what just happened from the whole situation, the whole conflict impact in 2023 and 2026. And I kind of appreciate the information that you gave me, and I'm pretty sure you appreciate that I'm actually telling you this about and everything.
All right. So, right.
So is there anything else that you want to ask me before we actually close this interview?
No, I don't think I have anything to ask.
Okay. All right. Thank you then. Thank you. Have a nice day. All right.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. So Bonnie, right now, how do you feel that question? Not how you feel. I mean, do you think that your mental health is an excuse?
I'm not really educated on this claim. Can you clarify on the mental health of her apparently?
Well, from how I can say this, there's I've seen a few community posts. Well, probably not a lot, but just a few in your channel that I think it's implied about his own mental health, and in Maxwell's I think Maxwell's post, or actually he sent it a Google Doc before that, which includes his yours mental health. It kind of implies about everything about your said, the racism remarks, the whole freaking complaining and shit, and all of that. So do you have any acknowledgement of if you think that's an excuse or not?
I mean, does he have now I'm not saying you need an official, diagnosis on the internet out there. I'm not saying that, but do we really know what type of mental health problem he has?
We don't even know. That's the problem. Like, to be honest, I don't think I actually asked Maxwell, but if even if I asked him, I don't think he knows anything on what kind of mental issues that Yer has. But even if we don't know if it's true, but Yer would just like to just lie off his ass to say that he has a mental health issue, but he wouldn't say the actual problem of that.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure still. I think he's personally thinking it, but let's give it a benefit of the doubt. Let's say that the entire, the conflicts, his internet history actually, gave him some, let's say, I guess you can say PTSD, like he mistrusts some people, let's give him that. Even if that was an issue, like he couldn't trust people, he's scared of some people, he's very paranoid, even if that's the case, that doesn't excuse like what he has done. Like this is just some, I guess you could say, dumb actions. Like this is no mental health excuse can excuse this. Like why would you say slurs? Why would you say death threats? Why would you say threats? Like there's no excuse for that. Even if you like have an actual mental disability, I'm pretty sure you still have some cognitive function to realize that what you're saying is actually wrong. I know some people who, I guess you could say, have anxiety or anger issues, and even they know that what they say, can have some meaning. I just think it's him being stupid, honestly. Like, there's just no real excuse for his actions at this point.
I think I can agree with you because mental issues like that, it doesn't mean that you can excuse on everything what you said on it. It doesn't make any sense. And then plus saying from what you're saying, from what you're saying, it's mostly like already unacceptable. And I don't really understand what has gone into yours head. But all I can just say is that if what you're saying is true about his mental health, still again, like it doesn't really, it's gonna excuse everything on what he said about before.
Honestly, it kind of feels out of character that he's like using mental health as an, I guess could say, a weapon or excuse now, because back then he would probably never, I guess you could say, revealed his mental health weakness, you could say, because he once again he wants to portray himself as strong. I just see it as like desperation at this point. Like I'm not saying that is gonna collapse like tomorrow or something, but I feel like he knows that one day he's gonna lose everything. Everybody's gonna find out who he really is, maybe, or to some extent at that point, like even if it's like a little, the people are gonna find out one day, and he knows he needs like an excuse to back everything he has ever done. So I just think it's like a desperation act. He wants to recover his image at this point.
Yeah, possibly like an attempt to recover all his reputation and some status onto himself, so he can be viewed as the troubled one, and for people, let me say no, so people can like feel bad for him. It's mostly
Yeah.
just trying to get everyone's empathy.
I guess that's really all I have to say.
Yeah. Right now, I'm only just thinking about if it was even true or not, and I can only just declare it's a maybe because there's a possibility that it could be a mental health issue or not. It's just based on what you just said, and we don't even know if we have enough evidence to even declare it true. So
I personally,
now you
I
have,
per-
go ahead, go ahead.
I personally think it's just stupidity.
Yeah, probably so. Now do you have anything else to say before I go to the next question?
No,
Okay. Okay, so the next one is that which I asked let me see. Bin, is yours doxing against Heslo justified?
now I can see why he did what he did. I'm not saying that it was the right thing to do, obviously, but back then it seemed like the, I guess you could say, correct way to solve it. I'm not gonna defend per se, but I'm also not gonna defend like Heslo's actions, Sure, they're not like that egregious, but like he kind of, I guess you could say was, I guess you could say like a pest. Like he kept annoying her. He kept annoying us at the time when we were, you know, still with her. He was basically like pestering us constantly. And while I never was involved in, you know, the doxing, I would say that it did not have to go to that extent, even if it was seen as correct at the time. Like, at the end of the day, it's just some kid who, you know, probably doesn't know any better. Probably, you know, just wants to meet us or something. Now, he could be a rage baiter for all I know, but
Yeah.
it still doesn't excuse the fact that you dox somebody randomly just because they were just pestering you. They like got his face and everything. I think they know where he lives. I think at one point, his life was like at danger at that point, but he didn't know any better. He didn't even know. I think.
Yeah, and plus, like, from what Cobbin told me, he sent me the screenshot of you're saying that like Heslo has censored Gore, and I'm pretty sure that both sides are declared like still not rightful for sending the Gore, but what's more not that rightful is that you're just doxing against Heslo, and it's mostly it could like fully impact Heslo's life most of the time.
It's actually Heslo's, I guess you could say, kind of fortunate that nobody basically has, like, I guess you could say, the power to, you know, send somebody to Heslo and, you know, just you know.
Yeah, all that.
What else? And then Earth still has the audacity years later to blame it all on Coppin, even though, you know, he also worked on it and he willingly posted the pictures and information of Heslo out there on multiple group chats and possibly even other servers too. Maybe even on SSB2 as well.
I mean, he may not add up pictures on Simple Sandbox 2, but I'm pretty sure he did apply about it, saying that, oh, hey everyone, I just doxed Heslo and I have his own face. Some other bullshit.
There's even like an emoji in the IFRS server, I think, still. Let me just, I gotta check it out real quick. I promise I'll be fast.
Go ahead.
No. The emoji is still here. I'm not gonna blame Senator, obviously, because it was a long time ago. I'll send a picture if you want. But basically, it's Heslo's face, but basically edited to look like Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, sure. Send it to me, please.
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
So yeah, it was basically seen as normal at the time. They also had an emoji back in the old Discord of Heslo's full face. I guess I'll send it if you want. But yeah, back then it was seen as like the rightful thing to do. Like nobody cared if, you know, Heslo just, you know, got slimed out.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure everybody who was involved in it has moved on. But is using this, you know, incident for his own personal gain to demonize Cobbin and the others.
Alright, go ahead.
That's all we have to say.
Okay. Because, like, I mean, of course, everyone must have moved on, but in my view, what I can say is that if you're tries to actually send a hit squad, like, or SWAT Heslo, then that could be kind of bad. But I doubt that Yer would actually do something like that because, like how old is Yer?
Well, it's kind of complicated. I know his birthday personally. I don't know. I'm gonna say it. I don't know if you're gonna like censor it, but his birthday is October 27th, 2011, which would make him roughly 14 years old right now. But some sources say that he's actually 12 because I don't know if there's gonna be screenshots sent to you, but I guess you could say one of the people inside Medium City once asked her, "Yo, are you 12?" And immediately began to like panic internally, I think, and he like started denying it, I'm pretty sure, and like I guess shut down the server. So it's kind of
Hmm.
complicated.
So I guess it's possible he's probably a little more younger. I mean, hold on. Not a little more younger, but I could say like he's a little more older, like more older than like 12 years old. He could be like above 14, in fact, but it's
Yeah,
not so sure. Go ahead.
yeah, I guess I could say that. But I still think he's 14 because I know his
Hmm.
birthday. His birthday was leaked like probably long ago, like 2022. So yeah.
So yeah, and then we can just probably assume that he's either, of course, like well, mostly either 14 years old or 12 years old, which I'm likely just gonna say that that birthday of 12 years old is not gonna be correct. Because I mean, from what you said, that 14 years old is probably more true than what I previously said. But in that age of 14 years old, you can't really just like send a hit squad or a SWAT team to Heslow's house, and
Yeah.
it could likely just mean it's a felony. And from where I seen like SWAT videos before, like mostly like streamers being swatted. This is off topic, by the way. Okay, so like of course like I seen streamers get swatted, and it's kind of bad, and it could really result as a felony. And if your does that too, hell, it depends on his sentence if it gets declared as a felony or mostly a shitty minor charge that like probably younger kids might get away from it.
Yeah, I don't really know the long turkey, so I would probably just, I don't know. Even if he does it, he's probably, gonna get away with it, probably. Besides that, at his age, I feel like he should, have some maturity level on knowing that this is actually like a huge risk. You shouldn't be saying these things online without, I guess you could say, probably probable cause, and like you're actually gonna do it, and like you're like not joking because like you have the evidence. You could literally do it. That's what makes it worse for you. That's like, yeah, that's what I
I bet
think,
you're right.
you messed up on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Is there anything else you want to say about this question, or that's it?
No, but I guess I can say that Tesla's, I guess, still the same level, like mental wise, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's just like a kid. Like, leave him alone.
Yeah, like I mean, Heslo is still a kid, probably to this very day. It's not even worth going after him. Like a literal kid that is like a rage baiter. Like, come on. Like, would you really go this like just dox someone who rage baits you a lot?
I don't know if he's a rage baiter, but even even if he's not, like, come on, man, he's just a kid.
I mean, it's not worth letting your anger towards that kid anyway. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, my other question is that did you actually force you to do something like anything inappropriate or weird or anything?
Um. Does manipulation count? Like, like forcing me to unfriend
Yeah,
somebody, or yeah, okay.
yeah, that counts too.
Um. Um. I'm gonna try my best. It's one time
Yes.
where back then, like hating on the LGBT community was like basically normal on the internet back then, like 2022 to like 24, I think. I guess you could say that I guess you could say forced to run like the LGBT flag in front of one of my friends who came out as bisexual, and me and her like laughed at him. Obviously I changed now. I changed my ways. I think Earth's still the same, however, even though he's gonna probably deny it. He's gonna, deny it. But I know secretly that he's still the same person he was back then. The other time, there's like, I think there's like other times, but I really can't remember. You could say probably forced me to unfriend some people. I don't know why. I can't really remember. But there's a good amount of chance he probably did that. He forced me to do that. What else? That's really all I can think about. Unless you count forcing me to work on the Medium City map, which yes, it's still manipulative, but honestly, it's not really that much of an impact. Really. I mean, I already knew I wasn't gonna work for the money, so yeah, that's all I really can think about. I can just only imagine how much this dude has manipulated people, like force them to do something. Because during the Medium City War, he like forced the players in it to like fight against us on chains. But still, that one javelin, that destroyed everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of weird that he just sort of like, well, actually no, not sort of, like he just really just fully forced you to like unfriend to everyone that you probably aren't you like. Is it everyone or just a few or some?
Like, what do you mean everybody? Like my friends or?
Like, is like you're like quote unquote obsessive, or mostly like he wants to be your friend mostly and just wants you to like abandon the friends that you had made up?
I would say he was trying to be my friend mostly during, the early parts of, our relationship. I wouldn't say that he forced me to, leave my other friends, because at the end of the day, we were a friend group, but was just, mainly my best friend. I wouldn't say that, but I feel like he's probably, that manipulative now. Like, he manipulates people to, only worship him or be friends with him and leave everybody else behind, or, be against somebody else.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. My ninth question is like that. Does your manipulate his fans into his own fandom?
Oh, obviously. I mean, as I already mentioned before, he manipulates his fans to, go against us, fight against us. Since they really don't have any independent thought of their own and probably just, want to be with Earth just because he has like a high subscriber account or is kind of famous. Yeah, he kind of manipulates them, I guess, so they can compete to, get close to him, befriend him, hang out with him, talk to him, all of that. So I think he, takes advantage of that to, basically use them as child soldiers, you could say, against us.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's really it about, him manipulating. I think the same still applies. Same applies to his friends, like his remaining goons. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, but when okay, let me see. Like, I don't expect a simple sandbox YouTuber to actually control their fans to literally like obliterate another of their own enemies or former friends. Like, I don't think I didn't see any SSB YouTuber like Sabola or Figure, anyone else. Like, I haven't seen anyone do that kind of stuff. Well, I don't know about them really much, but for Yer, all I can say is that it's kind of surprising to me that Yer does that kind of shit by controlling his own fans into attacking another enemy for his own benefit.
Off topic real quick, but like Saboya or C-Boy, as I'm gonna call him, I would say he has like the same mental state as her, but like it's much more worse and dramatic. Let's say that he's not like a good person at all either. But that's another topic, we're talking about her right now. But that's all I'm gonna say about him. He's not a good person either. Back to what were you? Oh yeah, it's not really like unique when it comes to this stuff. There's other YouTubers out there that in the past or right now are doing similar things as him. I would just see as like a sign of vulnerability. Like, he wants to protect his image. He wants to control his power, gain power. That's like, I guess you could say, a fragile ego at this point.
Yeah. So right now, anything else, right? Just making sure.
No. But the only thing I can say is I just hope that when Earth's fans actually grow up they might grow a pair of balls and just stop listening to him.
I mean, yes, that's. I think it's just best to like leave the guy to his own shit because I don't think it's even best to like support someone who did all those actions and even the racial like racist remarks that he just said.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last question is that is you're a good guy?
No, just straight up, no. And there's literally all the reasons I've said, all the stories I've said. That should probably be enough to convince like some people who have consciousness that is not a good guy at all. I just hope like this message gets out there one day, like to the entire community, and hopefully loses his career as as a popular Simple Sandbox YouTuber because he's really not like a good person at all. Now, there's basically nobody good in this community, I would say. Like everybody has done something at some point, but the actions has done, I would say probably top 10 worst careers in this community's history.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would not say he's a good person. Um, I would say though that he probably didn't start out this way in the beginning. He probably was kind of pure at heart. I would say to an extent, but ever since those clan days, ever since those clan conflicts, he's never been the same ever since. It's like all the fame, all the power got to him.
Mm. So okay, this is an off-topic question, but it's probably not much related, but I can say it's a little bit related. But do you think you have some worries about the IV escalator Apex? Like, you think that well, if any sort of way that you're would just tell Apex to quote unquote have their his own group come after you and Codbin?
I'm not really concerned to be honest. Like it's an SSBT clan and they only have like a couple of members. And also, how are they gonna target me? I don't even host Simple City right now. I'll probably do in the future, but I'll do the same defense kick system that implemented during our invasion against them. So I'm not really that worried.
I
And
mean, I just
even if they do have Discord, even if they try to get into my Discord, they're not getting any powers. They're going to get banned instantly. Like I don't give a fuck about you. Like please get out. We don't want you here. You're irrelevant. You're a loser. Go touch grass. I don't know, go get some friends.
like, to be honest, I can say it's kind of true. Plus, I've been seeing like a lot of clans, like mostly take SSB too seriously, and it's kind of fucking ridiculous. And plus, like matter of fact, it doesn't even make any sense anymore since like the game is like dying, and we don't even know when the game is gonna lose like a lot of members. Like not a lot of members. I mean, I'm talking about players, servers, and some regions that might lose the same amount of players and servers. Like it's just like if they really gonna continue like freaking playing Clan Wars on this dead ass game, then I don't know what to say anymore. I can only just do says, hey, I'm just gonna abandon my whole PvP skills and just get the fuck out. That's all I always gonna do when I try to grow up.
I would say though that clans probably played an important role in like I guess you could say the rise of the game. Like it built people's careers in it. It like I guess you could say help people stay in the game, help them be community leaders, you could say. Like the clans back then, I would say were respectable. Like they actually fought valiantly, even if there were some that were pissy about losing or winning. They still had some respect to an extent. But now I would say clans are just they lost all of that. You could say prestige. Like they're not the
Yeah,
same anymore. They're more like as weapons to gain fame, not actually, be a true leader for the community. Even if, you were like NAR and or a Nazi, still you really aren't, helping the community anymore. And plus, you're not even fighting, respectfully. You're just claiming victory after victory. Hell, Apex declared victory one time when I flew in a red plane just to get some HP. So it really shows that the clan community has fallen off. And yes, I would say clans are, kind of useless, I would say, but they also help build up the game, I would say also. And
Yeah.
and I really don't see IVS, lasting forever as Apex would probably like to imagine. I would probably see him probably retiring either by the end of 2027 or 2028, maybe even 2030. Hell, if he's that much of a no life. Even if the game, if I wouldn't imagine if the game lasts that long though. So yeah, but I really don't see
Yeah.
IVS lasting that long. Like it's always gonna end at some point.
Yeah, of course. I mean, at this point, clans are not gonna really last that much longer. As I seen, like a few of them, like Ares, I think probably AV2 or VF, that were closed. Some of them are some clan names are probably are non-existent, but I can just assume that's it. Some clans are just mostly closing, and that'd be all for their whole generation. So that's how like it's gonna end this way anyway.
Yeah.
Now, right now, Bonnie, do you have anything else to say before we close this interview? Because it's been like for so long, ever since like we now introduced ourselves, and plus like it's been like a long time that nobody actually got into this topic and tried to like expose your besides Maxwell, which he tried to, but he didn't get enough attention to like
Yeah,
gather all like yeah. Go ahead.
that sort of happened to us as well. You can go ahead before, I start talking, I guess.
Okay, I think we're done everything in here, all right? So I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think you did said everything you just had.
Yeah. I guess on like a final note, for some of you, this might be my first time like actually listening to my voice, finding out about my voice. Yeah, this is how I sound like. I may sound different though in SB2VC. I still like to bully children online, but hey, that's just me. But on a real note, er, if you do come after me after this video, I really do not care. Like, you say you don't care about me, why are you still coming after me? That's the real question. Even if, I don't join you, why are you still making trap servers for me? Why are you still, I guess you could say, following me? Why are you still going after me? Why are you still puncturing tires in my fucking car in Stone City RP? Like, come on, bro. It's obvious you don't like me. You want me gone, eradicated, still going after me. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's about to be 2028 soon. I'm gonna be out of here by that year, and you're still going after me. Like, can we just like sign a peace treaty? Maybe this will all end. Like, I'll leave you alone for once. I mean, you still got the entire community after this video, probably. But come on, bro. Let's just sign a peace treaty. Like, I'm tired of you. I guess you could say. Like, I don't care about you. You apparently say the same thing. Yeah, bro. I don't see what's wrong with you at this point.
Yeah, and if your attempts to come after me too, I don't give a shit. Like I don't really care anymore. Because for a while I haven't really PvP'd much. I might be rusty, but still, it doesn't even matter for me anymore. And whatever. If you're managed to get Apex in the fight trying to jump me, okay, I don't care. I'll endure my ass as long as I want until I'm done with this shit and I upload the video and that'll be all. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right, Bonnie. Thank you for coming over here.
Yeah, no problem, man. I think I'm gonna go do some drugs.
What? Okay.
Yeah,
All
man.
right then, man. All
Yeah,
right,
see ya,
man.
bro.
Enjoy yourself. All right. See ya.
Yeah, see ya, bro.
Everything has been discussed. The proof, the interview, and images of yours showing a reality of so much YouTubers would get once they soon to act differently. Yer is less of a YouTuber. Yes, he does roleplay in Medium City in Mind's Own Business, quote unquote. However, he doesn't seem to keep up his own mind together by implying in his own community post a few days ago that Hazel's doxing was too far and not justified. But the thing is, how come did I notice you're being involved into the doxing situation? It's already a coincidence, and he attempts to hide it and deny it. He proceeds to send screenshots of Hazel's face, including his personal information in Discord. So it's crazy how he says it's too far, yet Yer was involved into the doxing. Yer is a kid, a teenager that hides behind his own image as he values his reputation more than accepting his own actions, with attempts to apologize everything he caused, including his former friends that turned against him due to his own actions. But instead, he decides to deny the accusations that was pointed out against him, despite there was proof. A side can be decided, and I don't really care what you can say. And I doubt Apex will yap another 5-minute video if he has to, since all this information can take a lot of time to process. You can say it's yap in this video, whatever you want to do, but I don't think it's gonna really change anything. For my last words, to those that still support Yer, you can choose a side you prefer. I'm not gonna stop you, nor force you from what I just showed. Either of those doesn't mean consequences will occur. It's not my business nor anyone else's. In the meantime, I would like to thank Copbin for providing me with some of the videos that were recorded, including Bonnie, as the two of them provided me so much proof of who Yer really was. And maybe, I think it's enough to show the US region community with enough realization that Yer isn't the guy who made roleplay servers. After all, nobody is not perfect. Not even the clans that were created in the first place. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.